What if I told you fear isn't a feeling? It's a system built to master. Every hesitation, every doubt, every trembling thought is a thread in a web you didn't even see, yet it's still forming you. I used to think courage meant ignoring fear, but I was wrong. Real power isn't the absence of fear. It's knowing it deeply, understanding its pattern, and turning it into fuel. Imagine a man standing in the center of a storm. The winds of doubt howl, shadows of past failures loom, a broken heart, a lost soul. Yet he moves forward, whatever it takes. This is not luck. This is not something only a few born with. This is mastery. This is becoming the Lord of all fears. Transylvania, 1456. The boy was taken hostage, not by enemy armies, but by men who claimed to be allies. 6 years in cold, dark cells. Fear as food, doubt as pillow. Every smile could hide a blade. Every promise could kill. Trust was weakness. Fear was survival. His name, Vlad, the Impaler. Back home, betrayal was everywhere. Allies sold his name for gold. Family stitched new loyalties while he rotted in chains. He could not fight armies, but he could study betrayal. Every whisper became a lesson. Every act of treachery was a map to power. Fear was not just felt, it was observed, measured, catalogued. When Vlad returned, he did not take the throne with speeches or empty promises. He took it with terror. Nobles who whispered vanished in the night. Villages that sheltered traitors awoke to stakes lining the roads. Obedience was no longer demanded. It was internalized. Every glance, every gesture, every shifting shadow reminded the people exactly who held control. Vlad didn't rule their land. He ruled their fear. The boy who once trembled in chains became the man whose enemies feared even a whisper. Fear became law. Punishment became the language. Terror became the grammar. Every act of cruelty was deliberate, measured, exact, a tool to carve obedience into the living, and to remind the world that power is not spoken, it is enforced. Everything happened in plain sight. People didn't need to witness the impaled nobles to understand the rules. The message lived in their minds like fire. Disloyalty has a price. Survival wasn't earned through admiration, only through submission. Vlad mastered his own dread, and the moment he did, he became unstoppable. The terror that once chained him hardened into the armor that guarded his rule. A throne built on fear can command a land, but it raises a darker question. Can fear command the soul? Have you ever noticed that fear is the most personal jailer you will ever face? The one that gives orders when no one else is watching. Not the threats outside, not the enemies waiting in the street. The most dangerous opponent is the shadow living quietly inside your own mind. Science shows that the brain responds to imagined threats almost exactly as it does to real ones. A soldier who simulates danger in his mind performs as if he has already survived it. An athlete who visualizes victory activates the same neural pathways as actual effort. Fear is both illusion and weapon, a force that lives in expectation, in anticipation, in the echo of your own heartbeat. It is not the danger itself that controls you, but the story your mind chooses to believe. Here's a practical exercise. The next time anxiety tightens its grip, don't run. Watch it, name it, map its edges, treat it as a living entity. Separate from yourself. Notice its tricks, its timing, the lies it tells. Once observed, fear loses its stealth, and you gain leverage. There was once a man trapped in a fortress of dread, believing every shadow was an enemy. One night, he realized the gates were never locked. The prison existed only in his imagination. The walls fell the moment he stepped forward. The same is true for your fears. The first step is seeing that their power is granted by your own mind. Now here's a direct challenge. No one can fight your battles for you. No charm, no book, no mentor can wrest control from your own shadows. You must step into the fear, study it, and bend it into strategy. That is how ordinary people ascend to command. As Carl Jung said, I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become. Your fears are not chains. They are raw material. With awareness, discipline, and deliberate confrontation, they can be transformed into your most secret weapon. Remember, power is always taken. To claim it, you must do what others cannot. The shadows you fear are not stronger than you. They grow only when you pretend they do. Face them, name them, own them. And in that ownership, fear becomes fuel, silence becomes armor. And at last, you command your fears. These are not lessons in courage. They are operations of self-command and field techniques to neutralize fear before it becomes a weapon in someone else's hands. 1. Observe the pulse, don't obey it. Fear begins as electricity, a signal, not a sentence. Most people obey it blindly, but you measure it. Count your heartbeat, slow it deliberately, then use it. Let the surge of fear sharpen your senses, heighten your perception. When others falter under panic, you move with precision. You become the calm eye in the storm, the one who sees opportunities in chaos that others miss. Control the rhythm of your own fear, and you control the narrative of any situation. 2. For me, this is the most effective technique. You will use it. It's like holding a weapon always in your pockets in any situation. Translate sensation into language. Naming fear breaks its spell. Say it quietly. This is fear of failure. This is fear of exposure. Once identified, it becomes data, not destiny. Use this. Labeling fear allows you to anticipate reactions in yourself and others. When others freeze, when fear hijacks decisions, your awareness becomes your weapon. You see their hesitation, their mental scripts, and you act where they cannot. Words dissect emotions. Silence feeds them. By naming it, you gain a map to manipulate outcomes, both yours and theirs. 3. Audit the threat. Every fear has an author. Ask yourself, who benefits if I stay afraid? Trace its origin. Is it external, media, authority, the herd, or internal? Self-doubt, memory, old wounds. Use this insight, because the moment you know who or what depends on your submission, you gain leverage. You can move when they expect you to freeze. You become unpredictable. Fear's architecture becomes visible, and once visible, it becomes a tool to conquer opponents, to bend situations, to shape outcomes. 4. Recode the frame. Fear tells one story. You are trapped. Reframe it with another angle. I am being tested. In that instant, you stop being prey. You become the strategist. Use this shift to exploit environments others mistake for threats. Every danger becomes a chessboard. Every challenge becomes an opening. Because language is architecture. Change the structure, and the walls that imprison others collapse for you, while you move freely, unseen, untouchable. 5. Micro-exposure training. Bravery is not natural. It is manufactured in controlled doses. Face small fears daily. Eye contact, rejection, silence. Track your recovery. Watch how quickly the mind adapts. Use this as your advantage when forcing yourself to adapt to discomfort. The world that terrifies others becomes predictable to you. Situations that paralyze the average person will feel familiar in your hands. Fear stops being a cage and becomes a tool. Others flee, you move. Others hesitate, you decide. 6. Tactical detachment. Fear is not yours. It's a signal broadcast into your mind, a frequency that tries to claim your identity. Shift your awareness, like a predator, pulling back into the shadows, watching the world without being seen. When you observe from that darkness, emotional chaos becomes data. You read the pulse of the room, the tremor in your opponent's breath, the hidden architecture of manipulation. Fear no longer hunts you. You become the one who hunts through it. You use it to anticipate movements, to sculpt decisions, to bend the moment in your favor, and to shape reality around you. Remember, fear is not the enemy. Obedience is. Those who master these 6 strategies become unreadable, unreachable, unbroken. You see the architecture of control, and you move through the world, unseen, untouched, and untouchable. Where others bend to fear, you bend it to your will. Silence becomes armor. Observation becomes power. Fear becomes fuel. And in that mastery, you ascend, not by avoiding shadows, but by owning them.